Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of Ballet International and the YouTube watcher and all the audience who is watching this interview from overseas. Today online we have a prestigious artist. His name is Mr. Joseph Tmim. He is now in Israel, and he is in a town next to Tel Aviv. Can you say the name of the town, please?
It's Ramat Gan.
Ramat Gan.
Exactly.
And so now we are starting this interview. It's nearly 10 o'clock in the morning in Ramat Gan. And here in Rome, it's nearly 9 o'clock in the morning. So, good morning, Mr. Joseph. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning.
It's nice to have you online, and I'm sure that this interview will bring a lot of interest for the, especially for the contemporary dancers and also classical ballet dancers. So, Mr. Joseph, you started ballet at what age, and who were your teachers? And in which town did you start?
Yes, I mean, it's like 50 years ago, exactly. I was 16 years old, and in Beersheba, I used to live in Beersheba. It's in the south of Israel. I mean, okay, maybe I have to start before. I used to take part in theater project.
Yes.
Used to be like a clown always.
Yes.
And then my teacher said to me one day, Joseph, you have to stop acting, you have to dance, because your body is very active and you are explaining more things with your body than talking.
Mm.
I have to say, I used to be very, very shy boy. And in 73, when we had the big war,
Yes.
then I decided to take some classes. And my first ballet teacher was a Polish guy called Neumann. I don't remember his the other name. He was very like Vaganova, very, very strict. And parallel, I used to take classes with one of the big stars from Batsheva School, Batsheva Company, pardon, Israel Hershkovich.
Yes.
Who said that he's teaching us jazz, but it was not true. He was giving us Graham technique, like basic.
Graham technique.
Yes, Graham technique. And so this was my first meeting with ballet and contemporary without really knowing.
Yes.
And then I realized that I'm very, very flexible, and I'm very, I could do many things. Everything that they asked me to do, I could do. Attitude, I did plié à la seconde, sitting in spagat. And then one day they invite Batsheva the Rothschild, who used to support a lot of companies in the world, and of course Bat Dor in Israel. And we met, and she asked me if I want to take classes, and I said, if I want to become a dancer or something like this. And I said, yeah, of course, I would like to keep going with the classes. And then she said, you are very, very talented, blah, blah, blah. And we are going to give you a scholarship, full scholarship. And you have to come to Tel Aviv, because we have much more possibility in Tel Aviv.
Yes.
This was, I mean, I can say till now, it was one of the best dance school in Israel. Because Batsheva the Rothschild, probably you know, she invited the best teacher. I mean, Elvin Ellie, Merce Cunningham, Martha Graham, and a lot of ballet
the big name of dance.
Completely. I mean,
Yes.
used to come from America, from Europe, but basically most of it Holland and America. So I was very lucky, and I had to do my le bac, and I was traveling every day, Beersheba, Tel Aviv. It was like 2 hours every day, and having like 4 classes a day.
Yes.
I mean, Richard Gibson was one of my teacher, and Sheila Levy, and of course Jeanette Ordman, and Graham. I mean, Martha gave master class.
Wow.
And I had teachers from the Contemporary Dance Theatre in London, because Robert Cohen, used to run the company. So I don't really remember the names, but we had the best ballet teacher. And I remember one of them was Dorina. She very little woman, screaming like crazy. And I came the first time at Bado in Tel Aviv, and it was like, wow, like the best dancer. And like, I mean, and I was like a Bedouin, like from the desert. I came without shoes, with shorts, and like very simple t-shirt, because I didn't have any
clothes, any ballet
clothes, any ballet, blah blah. And then she starts screaming at me, stand straight, and I mean, like, and spaghetti, like spaghetti, and this. And then I came to her and I said, I mean, excuse me, I'm very close to you. Why are you screaming? And all the dancers start laughing. And one of the girls, Yael Faran, she's a very good friend of mine. She's French. And she told me, Monsieur, you are lucky, because I'm here 4 years. You don't even know my name. And if she's talking to you, it means that you are really special and good. Okay, after a few days, I realized that the little Bedouin, primitive, from the desert is better than all this shikimiki, nice, and they were so busy with the best deodorant and the beautiful towel and all this stuff, and I'm a very, very simple person, and I don't like to wear nice clothes and this, but okay, so I got used to it. And of course, I enjoy very, very much. And I used to do like, I think 18 or 20 classes a week. Wow. I was crawling home. I could not walk because I have very, very long muscles.
Yeah.
But I was very flexible and very, like she used to say, spaghetti. I didn't have the strength, to hold a la seconde and this. And so, of course, I developed very quick in 1 year and a half. In a year and a half, I was in the best groups, more advanced. But I have to say that I have, till today, I have a lot of respect for ballet as method and yes. Learning and getting the body ready to. But I knew from the beginning that I don't want to be a ballet dancer. I was 10 years old when I saw Batsheva Dance Company. And from this day, I knew I will only dance with this company. For me, it was a completely different company than today with Ohad Naharin.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was different. It was the little baby of Martha Graham. Yeah. And Batsheva, the company, did the best repertoire from Martha. And Paul Taylor and John Cranko, and it was very, very, very special also for Israel, because we are, the Israelis, we are very, I can't say like very rude, and we don't have patience, and we always say what we think, and very impulsive and this. But it was a very different experience, like learning gram technique every day and ballet every day. So it was not like contemporary dance or modern dance, like aperitif. It was like 50-50%.
Wow.
We used to take like ballet, like normal class, and then special class for boys, and floor work, and parallel, slowly we did more like Horton technique, Limon, Cunningham, Merce Cunningham, and of course composition and music and things like this. So
it was
as
a
I said
full
before,
complete study that you made, a full complete study with all of these teachers. It was the best. It was the best of the best.
Really the best of the best. And I mean, today, of course, I was teaching here in Israel, or maybe we say it later, but I know I taught the young generation, the great talented kids here in Israel, and so there is a change. I mean, in my time, we used to have gram as a base.
Yes.
And of course, today you have so many different methods like yoga, like gyro, like Pilates that teach you how to protect your body from injuries and stuff like this. And you are more aware of the body, things that we didn't really know. It was like
working and working and working and don't
like this. And I have to say, I was very lucky. I never had any injury, nothing, only in my head. But so I mean, you can see that the kids today are very intelligent, and they work in
a different way,
very open. Yes, and they are very, very creative. I mean, really, the kids in Israel, and I was teaching in so many places, in different academy in Holland and in Europe in general. And of course, the kids are very talented, but there is something, we always say chutzpah, like the Israeli, they don't do because you ask them to do. They always ask questions, and they want to really know why. And if they have a little bit cramp and pain, they say, "Oh, now I stop. I'm fed up," like this. I mean, but. So back to the school. So I was very lucky to be surrounded by beautiful artists, not only teacher, I mean, artist and beautiful dancer. Marie, who used to be the assistant from Elvinelli, who used to teach all over the world his repertoire, and Bob Cohen. I mean, I still remember him so much. Very, very beautiful person, and very shy, very clever, who used to teach Gram, and used to say, yeah, it's quite boring, but you are going to learn something. All this. So, but for me, as I said before, I knew that I want to be, because I'm very egocentric and very individual. And so for me, it was very important to really express myself and not to lift the girl. I say it in a funny way, like lifting the girls here and holding them. And no, I wanted to dance, not only to do this. And
so you are a very, very tall dancer. You are very tall, I think.
No, not so much. My father is taller. I'm a 187. Not so tall. I have a very long torso and short leg. It's really funny, but my leg were here. I was like Van Gogh.
Wow.
Very flexible. And all my teachers, they wanted that I will become like a super ballet dancer, because I really had I was very good with jumps and adagio. I was better than the girls.
Well,
And
but Babbage is quite difficult for boys. I mean, to control
yes,
everything. Yes.
and then what can I wanted to say something, but I lost it now. Okay, so ask me more questions.
So, who is the teacher who gave you that input? You know, there is always an inspiring teacher who give you the
Yes.
key to develop your future.
Mm-hmm.
You had many,
So
but there is one maybe that gave you that,
yes,
you know?
as I said before, I was very lucky and I had wonderful artists, teachers,
Yeah,
pedagogue,
yeah,
but really one gave me the back, and it was Milton Myers.
mm,
Milton Myers, he was a very small black guy, beautiful personality, and he taught in at Bordeaux in one of the summer course. I think it was 78 or 79, or maybe before. I'm really bad with the.
yes, yes.
And I took his class, and I was like, I
Wow.
till today. I mean, I was so shocked because I did ballet and I did so many different kind of technique, modern technique, and I don't know the way how he was teaching, and I felt I really express myself, and and when he left because it was summer course, I was depressed, completely depressed, and when I came with Batsheva Dance Company, my first tour in America, in New York, and I performed a beautiful solo from Ohad Naharin, Pas de Pepsi. I
Yeah,
don't know if you know this. It's with the supermarket car. And I was never nervous before performances. Never. I felt like a free bird. Like when the curtain opened, I was like, wow, like this. And and I did this solo. It's it's very physical solo and very theatrical too, with an object, with a big supermarket and big bottles.
yes,
But I did it so many times. I did it at Habima Theater, in all over Israel, in other places in the world. But I invited Milton to see me at the
dance.
Joyce Theater.
Yes,
And I was a little bit nervous. But then, wow. And then I met him and he said to me, wow, I knew that you are very special, blah, 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 and all this. And we had a wonderful dinner after. And for me, it was like, I learned from this master, for me,
yeah,
from this beautiful and very simple person. And he shows me the way how to feel free and really express myself.
yes.
And
It's
I mean,
very
if I
important.
see, yeah, if I see today, I mean, the method of proton technique, I mean, there are many things that I like, the pitch and tilt à la seconde and all this stuff. I could do it. It was nothing complicated for me, but there was some, I don't know. It was like outcry for me. When you dance, it's like you really, or maybe the connection, the black people who suffer so much and the
Yeah.
way how they dance and why they dance. I think this is the word.
Mm.
When I saw him, I could see the reason why he's dancing. Not only dancing because, you have to do, you have to be aware of the assemblée or how you make the pirouette or how you jump. I mean, all of this is, of course, very, very important.
Yes, it's technique.
But there are so many reasons why we are jumping.
Yeah.
I mean, you can jump because if you have images and you work with fantasy, you can jump because you are scared to death, or you are very happy, or you know, like. And for me, from the beginning, maybe because I started as an actor, young actor, I always I looked for the reason, or I found myself doing, and not because someone told me you have to do this and hold the à la seconde and you know, this methodic stuff. It was never enough for me. I always had to work very hard to find my reason and use my fantasy to do it in a very honest way.
So you were very autonomous in your dance, in your feeling when you were on stage and when you were on the ballet studio. You were completely alone. I mean, you were following the others, but you had your own style that you were developing slowly.
Yeah, I mean, my all the rehearsal director that I worked with, also with Reinhild Hoffmann, that is more Tanztheater in Germany. Later, of course, after I finish working with Batsheva, they always used to say, "Oh, we don't like you. We're working with you. It's so complicated because you are always out of the group. We always see you, not the other people. You're doing exactly the same, but you know, it was like." So I said, "Is it a compliment or you are trying to insult me?" And it was a mixture of, they could not, how you say, it's like, you know, if you have a dog and you tell him sit and he's sitting, and like, I was always doing what I wanted in my way. There was something very nice with that, but yeah, it was very, and usually, I mean, also being a solo dancer at Batsheva, I used to tell the choreographer, "Don't take me. No, I'm not your style. No, you better not. Don't take me." And usually the dancer, you know very well, they want to dance everything, you know. And I was choosing, and I was always in a trio, quartet, solo, duet, like this. And in a group, I was like a crazy animal somewhere there on stage. That you call like a crazy horse that you cannot.
Everybody could notice you when you were dancing with the company.
Yes. And I have to say that always, also as a solo dancer, I mean, I could be very happy because I got beautiful roles and I was touring all over the world, and it was really beautiful experience. But it was never enough. I mean, I did my own things, and slowly I started developing my own way of teaching and choreographing many years, and till the moment that in Germany, I had my own company.
Yes. And how is the situation in Israel, how it was and how is it now regarding male dancers? Do they accept that boys do dance?
Oh, today is much more open.
Yes.
And of course, I had a beautiful student who became also big star at Batsheva and some other companies.
Yes.
In my time, we had, you know, they used to, "Oh, are you dancing? Really? Is it a professional? It's hobby?" Or like they didn't understand.
Yeah.
And of course, it was immediately connected. Yeah, if you're a dancer, you are gay, or you are, you know, like stuff like this. And people used to sometimes like insulting and saying really bad things, or without even knowing you, you know. And I mean, today, to be gay and dancer is completely my private thing, and I don't care what you think or what. I mean, so
has changed.
I mean, today, I don't think I had any problem with that, because I made a very clear decision for myself. And of course, at Batsheva, at Be'er Sheva, this city from Abraham in the south of Israel, so the people are more conservative, and like dance is not, you know, I mean, today high tech, and to become a teacher and to be, you know, to learn physics and mathematics and all this stuff, of course, was more important and more interesting than to say I'm dancing, you know.
Yes.
But I mean, with my parents, I used to write also poem and some thoughts, always. And my mother, her dream was that I will become a literature teacher or something like this. And for her, it was like she was, I think, a little bit upset that I chose this. And always when they used to come to see me on stage, she used to say, okay, I was very skinny. I was like Auschwitz model. I was so skinny with a lot of hair. And she was, oh, you are sweating so much. Let's go and eat. You know, so this was her way. But when I become, I don't know, like a famous teachers teaching so many different companies all over the world, and they used to come with me, Budapest, Stockholm, you know, Tel Aviv, and some. Then they were like very, you know, talking to my friend, they were, oh, Yossi is beautiful, he's so good as a teacher. But with me, oh, you are fat, you never wear normal clothes, you are so crazy, you know. But
well, because they had more confidence with you than so they could talk like they wanted.
Yes.
And I think all fathers and mothers they behave in the same way, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the inside they were very proud. So I mean, watching me on stage and watching my company, my work, and teaching in so many places.
Do you have any brother or sisters?
Yeah, my sister unfortunately died 10 years ago. She was my best friend. She had cancer. And I have two more brothers. I have one, Rafi, or Rafael. He's an actor, working a lot with kids and doing a lot of special program for children. And the other one, he was like a man. He was in a special, I don't know how you say it, special force against terrorism in Israel. Very à la mode, vous savez. Avec tous les problèmes en Israël, he was like this. But is a wonderful. Pardon?
He was the tough guy of the family.
Yeah, I mean, from the outside, very tough, but very sensitive.
Yes.
And I remember.
None of them did ballet when also?
No. What is this? No way. But my brother Yoram, this big man, is very sensitive. And I remember he had some problem with his girlfriend after many years being together, and he came to live with me at my place while I was big star at Batsheva.
Yeah.
So he met all of them, all the dancers. He came to see performances. We used to go together to dance disco. I love disco. Always in big tournée, after doing my beautiful job on stage, I was the clown of Batsheva. I could imitate everybody. The teacher, rehearsal director, all the dancer. And I mean, and dancing, like really crazy dancing, free, like, and
well, that is the only way to erase the stress of the day, because when you go to the disco, you just forget everything and you let yourself go with the music.
yes, of course. And yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, today you don't call it disco, but it's like going dancing, you know, and it was for me, I always felt like a bird. I don't know, like,
You had freedom. You had
and
full of freedom,
completely free, you know, not thinking,
like a John
yeah,
Travolta,
and not thinking,
like a Johnny Travolta.
yeah, you can say it, but not, I mean, without looking for any frame, like breaking. Yeah, I mean, and what I always say to my student, first, you have to know the rules.
Yes.
When you know the rules and you are able to make it, then smash it. Smash.
So then,
And
from Joseph, from Israel, you started traveling to Europe. You
yeah,
established,
with Batsheva first, all
yes,
over the world. I mean,
you were
tournée,
touring. You were touring
a lot, a lot.
a lot. And then what made you brought you the decision to work in Europe?
Oh, this was, yes, it was a big thing. I mean, I was 27 and I already danced several years with Batsheva, and I was, in a way, I was very, very happy.
Yeah.
And then I start feeling that it's not enough, that I want to, and of course, I was in contact with Reinhild Hoffmann, with Pina Bausch,
Yes.
and Susanna Lincoln.
Mm.
And in those days, I used to write letters. We didn't have internet and that.
No internet at all.
Yeah, and one day, okay, it was different things together. I mean, I start feeling the connection to my beginning, like theater, that I want to explore more, but physical. And from the beginning, I knew that I'm very much into Grotowski method, not blah, 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 but more Körpersprache,
Yes.
body language.
Yes.
First, like if I have to act as an old man, I have to feel very old in my body, and then I open my mouth and I say what I have to say. And with Pina and Kurt Jooss and all this method and Jean Sebran, I don't know if you knew or heard about him.
No.
He was the ballet master of Pina Bausch and Reinhild Hoffmann. He's a French guy, and he danced the Death in the Grüne Tisch. It's a masterpiece. The Grüne Tisch is the השולחן הירוק in Hebrew. It's a very, very, I mean, if you see today, you see all the problem in the world, the political, and he was teaching, he was working with, of course, he did Cecchetti and he did Vaganova and all this, but you used to have in serviette, and with that he used to work on the quality of the body and arms, and then I realized how important is the window, the torso, the face, the arms, and the chest, you know. And okay, in German you say Ausdrucktanz, Körpersprache, and it was very sorry, and all this Grotowski method pushed me to, I was very, very curious, and I wanted to learn more and to feel more.
Yes.
And then I I always mix because I'm very intuitive, but it was like this. I got in touch with the American Foundation, America Israel America Foundation, and I got a lot of beautiful article about me from different journalists and critics, and of course from Batsheva. And they gave me, I think it was something like $10,000 to go for 1 year to learn it, to go to the Volkwang Hochschule and to work with Pina and like this. And then there was some, I was very lucky. I was, I need my glasses, if not, I don't see. I performed in Tel Aviv Museum with a beautiful dancer, Alice Cohen from Batsheva. We did a duet and I did a solo. And then I improvised something. And Reinhild Hoffmann was there. I didn't know. She was there. And Giora Manor, a very famous critic, dance critic, he came to me and he said, after he said, "Oh, Yossi," my name is Yossi. Yeah. Yossi HaMeshuga, you know, Meshuga, like a crazy Yossi. He said, "Monsieur, you are lucky. She is here and she would like to talk to you." I said, "Who is here?" And he said, "Yeah, Reinhard Hoffmann." I said, "Hallelujah." I said, "Good that I know it now." So, of course, they invited me to the hotel. David Armstrong was her assistant. Very British, very British. And she just put on the table the contract and said, "Please sign the contract. I want you." I said, "What do you mean? You don't even know me." She said, "Yeah, from what I saw is enough." And then I was really lucky because my plan was that I will come for 1 year, and then I come back to Israel. And from this 1 year, I was 20 years in Germany.
Wow.
Okay, I worked with her, with this beautiful dancer and creative people. Julie Shanahan, a big star from Pina, and Orlando Fonares, and the dancer from, I mean, it was the first time that I had cocktail of Italiano, Francais, English, like German, not so much. More from, you know, Cuba and some other places. So it was amazing.
You were a very lucky artist to meet and to work with all these great artists.
Yes.
Like it was the best gift that you ever had. I mean, it's there.
Yeah, I mean, I believe, I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I believe that sometimes things in life organize you because it's planned to be like this.
Yes, yes, each one of us has a destiny, and they meet people, and it's all written in a book, you know. It's a book of life. So, but you were very, very lucky to find all these people, because it's rare to find all these great artists in one line. I mean, you everywhere you were going, you found the greatest stars.
Yes, but I have, yeah, in a way, yeah, I was very, very lucky. But one thing it was very hard for me to accept, because for all the people in Israel, especially in Israel, I was a wonderful dancer. They didn't want to see me as a teacher or choreographer. No, they put me in a
frame.
Yeah, that I am a wonderful dancer.
Yes.
So I have to say, when I came to Germany, and of course, like always, it was never enough to be a star with Reinhard Hoffmann. I start really developing not to make money, because I have to make money, then I became a teacher.
Yes.
But, I used to give workshop for teachers and like normal people, and I slowly developed the whole bar, because I mean, my class, if I try to describe in a very simple way, I start in the center. I work a lot with the torso,
Yes.
the weight of the arms and this. And then I have a full bar that, of course, based on the ballet.
Yes.
But the difference is the top and the legs are one thing, like a big flower that open and close.
Yeah.
The arm, and it's not position. Everything comes from the back, and then the body react,
Yes.
like action reaction, like in physics.
Yes.
But the most important, I mean, I call my legs, hip and legs, like earth.
Yes.
And the top is the sky or the window.
Yes.
How things work together. And then, I mean, in a way, the bar, you are dancing on the bar. You use the bar, but you really, and it's very total. It's not just getting warm.
Yes.
Or to work on the line. Of course, it's important, but it's everything is like one thing. It's and I love teaching this. And for me, the main thing, I'm working with normal people, and they have something special. They can move and express themselves.
Yes.
And of course, without ballet, I would not be able to break the rules and make this nishun, this mix.
Yes.
And make it more thick and more interesting and more colors.
Yes.
And I learned from my teacher that you have to concentrate and focus on the quality, how you make développé, and how you go up, and how you go down. And of course, I mean, I have a little tummy belly, like my daughter is saying, oh, you are like Buddha. And I have to say, I mean, I always had very strong balance.
Yes.
But today, with more flash and more knowledge and this, I'm more aware of going down and floating up. And but I always like to make jokes about myself. This is the main thing. I mean, I always make jokes. And when I go, you know, the first years when they invited me, like 12 weeks in Rotterdam Dance Academy or Theater School in Amsterdam or egal where, all the students were focusing, boom, into my tummy, my little tummy. And I used to be even bigger. And after the class, they used to come and say, Joseph, give me your tummy. Just give me your tummy. So it was very funny because, you know, in this world, we have this stigma or taboo, you know, we're all spaghetti bolognese, very thin, very nice. And I'm jumping. I mean, I worked as professor in Hochschule für Musik und Theater in Leipzig with Professor Misha Gavrikov. I don't know if you know him.
I heard the name, but I never met him.
He was a big star at Kirov Ballet. Beautiful arms, and you know the rules. Vaganova. You cannot put plie and up and down and devant back in the same time. No way.
Strictly military
yes.
method.
So he was, I mean, he invited me to get this professor in Leipzig after the wall just fell down in Germany. And of course, for me, to get these communistimus, all these people, you know, brainwash, and it was wow. But they learn how to. I took all my students to Rotterdam, to theater school. They could not believe that the just little things like the Siska von Dijk or a woman, you know, is making tea or coffee for all the students. Because in East Germany, it was like unglaublich, like no way, dilettant, you know, you don't do things like this.
So when you left Israel to move to Germany,
yeah,
did you learn German already, or you developed the language while you were in Germany?
Very nice question. So I will start like this. I made a clear decision. When I come, I mean, first, I'm Israeli.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Jewish, but I'm Jewish automatic because my mom is Jew.
Yeah.
But I made a very clear decision. I'm not going to play the victim. I'm not going to be very sad, or I don't know what. I mean, I'm going to open myself and learn and know people. And I was lucky, as I said before. I mean, I met so many people. But I have to say, I have to admit that I had big problem talking this language.
Which is not easy. German is not easy.
No, like because I'm Jew, without.
Yeah.
So it was, and okay, this was one problem. The other thing, I could always express myself in English and in French because we were all foreigner, most of us. So I didn't really use this language.
Yes.
But and then one day, I start reading poem from Paul Celan in Hebrew, and then I said I have to read it in German because the way how we use the language. I don't know if you heard about him.
No.
The beautiful poem, Romanian Jew who lived in Germany, and at the end he killed himself because he said, if I can write poetry about the how the Jews suffer and what they went through, blah blah blah, I'm like a murderer, something like this. And he killed himself in Paris. And then I start realizing how beautiful is this language. Complicated, but very beautiful. And this paradox between, you know, this big Bach and Beethoven and all these big things, you know, and what happened with Dr. Hitler, I always say. So, I mean, today, when I'm in Berlin and I go a lot, I speak German, and I have a lot of, I have a little mafia. We always meet in a cafe, not far from where I live, in the middle of the west part of Berlin, Charlottenburg. And yeah, and I talk, and I'm sure I'm making a lot of mistakes. Also in English, I'm not so good, but yeah, I mean, we are finding a way to explore.
Well, I think dancers are very able, very capable to find their own way to speak different languages because they have that gift to adapt themselves everywhere they go.
Yes, it's true. It's also connected to body language and face and, you know, everything.
For instance, if you are in a ballet studio and you have a teacher who maybe speak a different language, but you understand the movements that he's asking without really understanding what the word or what he's saying, but you understand the movement, the technique. So this is already is a language, you know, when you're in a ballet studio.
Of course. And I mean, when I teach, it's so funny. I mean, people till today, my student, or they're inviting me as a rehearsal director or choreographer to teach the company in this. They always say, "Oh, because I have a cocktail language. I make jokes in German language, in French. I put Hebrew, little curse in Arabic, like English, everything, cocktail." And like
you mix all the language together.
yes. And I always like Jesus Christ on the bicycle. This is for me balance. If all my students they say Joseph Tmim, yes, Jesus Christ on the bicycle. This is the meaning of being on top of your axe, of your center.
Yeah.
And you can stay there forever. Like nobody is going to push you. Like little things like this. And
so, Mr. Joseph, now you have been traveling everywhere from United States to Europe. I all know that you have also met and worked with Sándor Rácz, who is a great Hungarian artist. Sándor.
yes.
And you have been working in Hungary. You have been teaching in Hungary.
Oh, I think more than 30 years. I mean, I'm 66, alte Schmatte.
You look much younger. You look much...
Yes, without Botox, nothing.
You're the...
Yeah, I mean, I worked with Bela Földi. He's the director of Budapest Dance Theatre. I made a lot of choreography there and teaching the company workshops and also Szeged Kortárs Ballet.
Yeah.
Many years teaching the company, and I love teaching them because like they don't have ballet. Maybe they did ballet. They did most of the things they did. How you call it? This Hungarian dance, folk dance.
Folk dance, yes.
They come from this background and sport.
Yeah.
But they are animal. They are so wow. They are so beautiful. You know, you give them something, immediately they do something with it.
They are explosive artists.
It's not imitating or being aware of placement. No. They're like me. I love it. They're animal.
Yes.
Cannibalismus.
Yes.
And
very quickly.
and they are very fast learning.
Yes.
Okay, I teach in other places. So, like in Sweden, the Ballet Academy.
Yes.
Oh, they're very narrow-minded. I mean, they're very busy. They don't really taste the thing because they're so busy with the things around the cake. Yes. They don't taste the cake.
Yes.
And of course, there are beautiful dancers. I mean, I was teaching Kuhlberg, and in this, people who work with Mats Ek, and a lot of Israeli who left Israel worked with him for many years.
Yes.
Now I don't have all the names. Talia and Rafi, Saadi, and beautiful dancer. And also, Kuhlberg. And there is another company that I was teaching several times in the south, Göteborg. So they're all having like ballet background, but they are modern, freak.
Yes. So now, a question, important question. If it was given to you the possibility and also the financial possibility to create something of your own, something that you could, I mean, now many ballet companies, they know you're teaching because you have been developing your own system. But
yes.
If you would direct something like a company, and in order that all the dancers who work in your company would work on your technique that you have been developing, do you think you would accept to create something in order that could inspire the new generation to develop more your technique?
I mean, first I did it with my own company in Berlin.
Yeah.
Ballet Dance Company. So I used to teach the company, like I think it was between 2 and 3 times a week, and then they had ballet twice. But ballet for like placement 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, just like very placement and
very
working,
square,
moving.
yes.
Yes. So I did. And all the years that I'm teaching, I feel that a lot of people, many times I was thinking maybe to write a book with all my, this knowledge and my experience, but because I'm anti, how to say, rules, and I like to break, and this, for me, it's very hard. Maybe if somebody will help me to do it and will take video and I will talk, because I'm very verbal. I have no problem talking. Sometimes I talk too much. But maybe I would do something like this. But I think I do it without doing it. I mean, but when I teach in so many years in Hungary, they know and they love my bar. And when I go to other companies, they are very happy. They feel more comfortable to do a bar, because they're afraid, thinking, wow, we don't do the bar, so how can we get warm and horny, I call it. So, but after my bar, and my bar is really hard. I mean, you are sweating and really hard, because the whole body is involved.
I have seen some videos on YouTube about your bar, and the little I have seen, I was really very impressed by the different technique than classical, because classical is it's beautiful, but it's very stereotype, with long lines, with attitude, that you have to follow the épaulement, you have to follow the beautiful fingers and the head and everything. But in your class, there is more freedom, but there is a lot of technique also.
Yeah, of course.
You work the torso in a different way, and you work it very hard. And also there is a full control of the legs and the turn out, and there is a great motion in the system. Do you think that maybe your method would help classical ballet dancers to mix both, and this might help them to have more freedom in their dance?
Yeah, I think what I'm trying basically to do, if I talk now about a classical dancer, they know everything. They are aware of placement, they are aware of up and down, they are aware of how to make the jump, up, and all the spiral, and but I think when you are, what I'm doing basically is I have like a little key that open your inside, and you dig really deep and find other reasons, more personal, more human reasons why you are doing things like you do, or what is your goal artistically, what do you try to achieve and to feel and to awake with the body. So all this, I like the open à la seconde and round back 2, open 3, and like a big wave forward. It's a complete different feeling that à la seconde and underdog and in. It's, and then it creates something more total, more animal, more. I mean, when I say animal, not like hysteric, crazy.
More wild in the movements, more wild in
the more the in the more the Yeah, the reason and the inside. I don't know how to say it in word. It's like more the reason why you do this.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, as a performer, when you are aware of this and you work in this way, and you take the ballet as a base, and on top you grow more,
Yes.
you are a better artist because you really talk very loud. Like if we have a potentiometer, like, you know,
Yes, yes.
volume, then you can be always the same level and very control and very nice, and you can go wow, wow, you know, like more, and you talk more loud and you say things,
More open.
and people,
Yeah.
yeah, and the people who are watching you, you awake something inside them also.
Yes.
It's not only for you.
Yes, yes.
I'm like like I awake. I mean, you have to be very active watching dance, not only like a spoon into the mouth.
Yes.
You see, and it's like a
Yes.
circus. When you look, then your association, everything just, and it's because you are, as a performer, you really touch different levels and mix, and
Yes.
you go deep inside yourself. I think, I mean, always when I go, and of course, you know, it's a completely different method,
Yes.
like Gaga method that Ohad Naharin developed. It's, I mean, you see very young dancer with so much quality. They're like diamond. They are doing the same, but each of them is like a diamond. They are very, very special. Now, if you like his work or you don't like,
This is different.
egal.
Yes.
But you really, it's like, I can give this example. I was lucky also in Jerusalem Dance Academy during the 70s. Pavlo Casals came to Jerusalem and he gave master class on the cello, of course. And it was amazing to see how he was talking and playing in the same time. And the concentration, you know, about the quality and how you're going to play now this part. You know, the partitura is the same everywhere. How you play, the variation, the interpretation, this is the most important.
I
And
agree.
this is what I'm trying to teach when I teach dancer and student. And sometimes I have to say, with children, I develop the most beautiful arm things with children. They don't think how it looks, nothing. They're like very spontaneous.
They are very spontaneous.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's very beautiful to achieve this thing.
Yes. And sometimes
So
you get more surprise with children than with adults because children, they they hide in the soul many qualities that they still have not developed. So in
yes,
children, you can develop this because it's very fertile in quality, in skills that
yes.
that they still, you know, like a little flower that it must grow.
Yeah, and I think the most beautiful with kids and us as human beings, if we keep the curiosity
Yes,
all the time,
yeah,
then things are vivant and alive.
alive.
And
Yeah,
not, you know, it's very easy to feel comfortable and I know everything and I did it. And now I'm the boss and I'm going to smash all the dancer and tell them that they are fat. And no, this is one part that I didn't like in dance. Never. I mean, they could never say to me that I'm fat because I was spaghetti bolognese. But I mean, I remember girls and wow, the way how teachers are treating, and I feel, oh, it makes me really sad that
Yeah.
people take this.
Well, because for ballet you must have a certain silhouette, but I think that today also things are changing. I mean,
Yeah, but you don't have to hurt people.
no, you don't have to hurt because there is a way to say things without hurting, you know. And but unfortunately, it depends of the academy, depends of the ballet company, depends of many things, but not. You can say things without hurting, like you say. You know, it's
Yes.
because otherwise. Ballerina, they start falling into tears and they make a drama of it, and sometimes it gives the other side effect that they become anorexic,
Of course.
and they don't start eating, and they start having injuries because the body becomes weak, and
Yeah, of course. I mean,
they become ill, and so it gives bad side effects. There's no
yes, of
need to
course.
insist because all dancers are aware. I mean, if I tell you that once I reached 100 kilos, because I wanted to reach 100 kilos because I wanted to leave the ballet company where I was. And the
Ah,
only way to leave the ballet company was to put on weight.
yes.
And one day I succeeded because the choreographer came to me and there was an audition. He told me, I cannot accept you because you are too fat.
Yes.
And this was the most beautiful day of my life. And
Yes.
then once I left the ballet company, I started losing weight and I was again 70 kilos like I was before. So I had to lose 30 kilos and I felt wonderful again.
Yes.
But you know, ballet dancers, they understand the weakness, they understand what is their problems.
Yeah, of course.
This is why I agree with you. Teachers must not offend dancers in repeating, you are too fat, you are too fat, you are too fat. It's not good.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I remember the first wife of Ohad Naharin, it was Marie, Japanese, and she was a big star at Elvinelli, and she was teaching his repertoire all over the world. She was, I mean, she was not fat, but her hip, like Japanese, was quite wide, and
Mhm.
but the way how she was dancing, and was amazing, but and yeah, and I have to say, like Ohad, if I go back to Ohad, that I respect a lot, is he has so many different kind of dancer. You
Yes,
can be not fat, but like big and
yes,
small and tall, and
yes. Different type of bodies, different type.
yes, and wow, it's
Yes,
very. I think it's like a vase with different flowers. I think it's beautiful.
yes. Have you ever tried to teach your technique in Australia or in South Africa or in Canada?
No, I was not there. I would love. I mean, I always like to. First, I love traveling.
Yes.
This is a big sickness that I got from being a dancer with Batsheva, touring all over the world, and also with Ryan Hoffman. Always touring, always. But I really love to go to a place like Pioneer and start from nothing. Like they will look at my little belly and they will say, "Oh." And after one class, they love me and they want to learn and
Yeah.
explore. And
Because I think in Australia, you would have a great success. You should try. You should try to give, you know, a workshop or something and launch a little thing in Australia. And you will see that in Australia it will, you know, like a seed, like the flower will
yes.
grow up.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not so good with trying to sell myself, like being a PR for myself, because basically, you know also very well that to sell ourselves as teacher, or it's not so easy for us.
No.
It's much easier when other people are saying, "Wow, we know him," and
Yes.
you know,
By word of mouth, I mean, people talk about your technique and it's, you know, it's already a visit card. when they
Yeah,
talk
because,
about
exactly, because, you know, many times, and also every day I'm sending material, my CV and
yes,
some part from my class, and most of the places, you know,
yeah.
they get it and
I am
they,
I am happy. I'm happy that you have been laying out all these different technique with all the teachers that you had in the past and all the success that you have reached and how you built it up your own technique in the different countries of Europe and in Israel, in United States. And because in Ballet International, you have many artists and also YouTube watchers who are from all countries. So
yes,
the idea of this interview that I made today with you, but also with all the artists, is because when you make part of a group like Ballet International or other groups,
maybe it's easier.
they see many important names, but they don't know who you are, what you are doing, what is
Exactly.
technique. But
Yes,
with the interview, you explain and you give a picture of yourself, of your technique, of what you have done in the past. So this maybe could also inspire other people from other country. Ah, the gentleman is interesting. This lady is interesting.
no,
So by
it would be
listening to
super.
the different,
Yes,
by different interviews, it gives the possibility, even if you have a great name, but it gives the possibility to create something for new generation. Because the
yes,
world today needs artists like you, needs artists like Sandor, needs artists like Nadia Timofeyeva. You see, those
yes,
important names are absolutely a key for the world of dance of tomorrow. It's very nice that maybe you or another great artist will think for himself, but it's also important to think about the young generation because otherwise the young generation in a decade, 2 decades will remain with nothing.
yes,
Have to give something to build up something for the new generations of
yeah,
dancers because your technique must be developed. Now you are still young, but time flows very quickly. So you have to. There must be some people who will continue your technique.
yeah, I think so.
Yes. So
I'm very glad that we met by coincidence. You know, I wrote to you, and then you said to me that, oh, I like very much your work, and we
yes,
are talking
because
about different possibilities. And I'm very happy
yes,
that at the end I accept to make this interview because I never do things like this.
but you see,
I don't know if it's because I'm shy or because I'm really shy, the basic.
yeah.
And I like talking, but to talk about myself for me, it's a little bit. I was very nervous, I have to say. Oh, what am I going to say? I hope it's interesting enough. But I know that my personality. I mean, people like me very much, and
Yes.
they.
Well, but I see that you have been speaking and you felt very comfortable
Yeah,
because
when I talk, yes, like when I was dancing.
you see, this is the important in the interviews is that people must feel comfortable. They must
Yeah,
feel like if they are on stage.
yeah. I mean, you gave me this feeling because the way how I mean, really very charming and very simple and direct and very nice. So I'm really appreciate a lot that.
Well,
Uh,
this is what I try to do with all artists of dance. I'm trying to help and encourage all artists of dance because
Very nice.
my wish would be that we all make part of one family. We are all artists. We have to work
Yes.
hand by hand. And I'm happy that you have joined this interview today because you gave the right motion, the right picture of what I really wanted to have in Ballet International.
Super. I'm very happy. So, yeah, I wish you a...
Excuse me. What is your wish for the young generation of tomorrow?
My wish for young generation?
Of dancers of tomorrow.
To know more artists, not to concentrate from the beginning on one thing, you know, to be very open and very curious to dig the inside more and more until they really find what they are, what is important for them, and what they want to do. You know, if to be a ballet dancer or to be a modern dancer or to do more dance theater. I mean, the world, I mean, there are so many possibilities.
Yes.
It's good that you give yourself a chance to know more and more and to be like a child with a lot of curiosity all the time.
Yes. And what is your message that you would give to the different countries and governments that could maybe improve their way to help culture and art, or maybe sponsor the culture? You know, in many countries there are cuts everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
For the dance, for the either modern or classical ballet, and many ballet companies are closing because they don't have enough finance. So,
Yes.
what would you suggest, or maybe a message that you would like to give in order that those ballet companies, they don't kill those ballet companies, they must keep it alive. So would there be a way to keep them alive by finding sponsor?
Yes. I mean, I think we know that as you said before, I mean, they're cutting everywhere. I mean, I remember in Holland, for example, they cut more than 40%. They used to have much more facilities and money supporting companies and students who just left, you know, to finding money for the first project or something like this. In Israel, you know, my country, you have beautiful dancer, but the government is not paying nothing. Everything is sponsor, and I mean, all the money is going to the war and another war and another war, you know, political.
Yeah.
And dance and art in general is not business. It's not a good business. They are looking for other things. So this is like a very sad information, but I have to say, like during the 80s and even before in America, where they didn't have any support, never this kind of capitalismus, you know, the most beautiful and important things developed there with no money and no support. So it's not always, I mean, of course, ballet company to exist, you need so much money, you know, the whole, just the costume and the salary and ballet master and the space, and it's very expensive to hold.
Yeah, because you have the orchestra, you have the dressing room, you have the costumes, you have a lot of other people who work. I mean,
big factory, it's a lot of stuff. But I mean, I think all these companies and yeah, they're fighting and trying to get always more and more money. And let's hope that it will stay, even this minimum, you know, as a base.
Yes.
But sponsor is always, for example, Batsheva, you know, it's one of the very famous company in the world, and they're touring all over and big success.
Yes.
I mean, all the studios, the theater, everything is sponsor.
Yes. Yes.
Everything, you know. It's and Batsheva, they have beautiful studios, and okay, the salary is much more than when I was in Batsheva. When I was at Batsheva, my salary was to pay. I could pay maybe electricity and gas and some little things, but not even the rent. I used to pay in Tel Aviv. You know, Tel Aviv is very, very expensive.
Is it?
In Israel, you pay something like, I don't know, $2,000 for a small flat. It's very expensive. So, but I mean, I remember I used to teach, and and okay, my wife, she's an architect, my ex-wife. So I used to enjoy, do what I want, and she was making money. Only when I came to Germany, I suddenly I felt, wow, I'm making money. But I
Well,
think
life is not easy for dancers. It's it's putting money aside. It's quite difficult for all dancers.
yes.
For all dancers. Have you ever worked in Morocco?
No, but I was there. Just
Because there are a lot
yeah.
of talent. There is a lot of talent in Morocco. And maybe you should have a try in the towns like Rabat, like Casablanca. If you had the chance to teach, make a workshop, they all
Yeah.
have a lot of talent. They have a very good musicality, and that would be a good thing also. Mr. Joseph, we have reached the end of our interview. And
Yes.
I really wish to thank you, and I think that many people will agree with me that today your interview was very interesting, but it was also bringing a lot of hope, a lot of light, a lot of happiness, a lot of freedom, like you say.
Yes.
You have a lot of freedom. You have developed your own freedom in the technique, but you also give a lot of freedom in your words, which give us all that sense of freedom and happiness. And I hope that the audience also will comprehend that, will get this message from you.
Okay. I thank you again for this beautiful interview.
Do you give me the permission to upload your interview on YouTube?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So I will do that. Maybe not this morning because in 1 hour I must go to work, and I will do it tonight.
No problem.
I will send you the link of the
Okay.
interview, and I will
Okay.
link also on Ballet International, and I will send it to everyone. And I really wish that everyone who followed this interview will listen to your words. And last week, I made a beautiful interview with Nadia Timofeyeva, which has a completely different style of
Yes.
ballet, which is more Vaganova, or more technique, but she's doing excellent work also. So you are another artist from Israel who has been interviewed and has been given a beautiful picture of the world of dance.
Thank you.
So you stay online a little moment, and I wish to thank everyone with all my heart and all the people who are following this channel to follow the new interviews that would come. And everybody is invited to have a say, like Mr. Joseph Tmim from Israel. So thank you, everyone.